About Morphy's playing, for instance, today's tournament, when the chess theory is so big? What do you think what would be?
Well, he would do very well, but he would have to study maybe 6 months to readjust himself to the new openings.
On bi dobro prošao, ali bi morao bar jedno što...
But even now, he could sit down and play. I mean, he wouldn't do anything bad. I mean...
Čak bi on mogao. He could win, of course.
Of course, yeah.
I on bi naravno i pobjeđivao. But if he...
Hello everyone, and welcome to another very beautiful and a very instructive chess game of Paul Morphy in the Paul Morphy's chess game series. And in this game, Paul Morphy has the white pieces and his opponent is a player with no name. This game was played in New York in 1857. And probably it's not a very important information, but this chess game is especially one of my own favorite chess games of Paul Morphy ever. It's a very brief, short game, but it's also a magnificently aggressive, dynamic attacking game, a typical Paul Morphy game in the romantic era of chess. So as you can see, Paul Morphy surrendered one of his knights. He is playing with the knight-O's for his weaker opponent. And Paul Morphy starts the game with playing e4, e5, knight to f3, knight to c6, d4, knight takes on d4, and Paul Morphy captures on e5 with the knight, and attacking the knight with the queen, knight to e6, bishop to c4, and black played knight to f6, developing the knight. A normal move by black, but it's white to move. And Paul Morphy played an incredible move. Well, he played knight takes on f7, sacrificing the knight at move 6, forking the queen and the rook. And Paul Morphy is losing his second piece. So what else? Black captures the knight. And then Paul Morphy played bishop takes knight. He is throwing everything to his opponent. King takes bishop. Well, if d takes on e6, queen takes queen. But we have bishop to b4 check, queen to d2, bishop takes queen, bishop takes bishop. But after king takes bishop, black is 2 pieces up. Black has 2 extra pieces. Paul Morphy played e5, attacking the knight, but we have bishop to c5. A very interesting move, but here comes a more interesting move than bishop to c5. Black didn't want to save the knight. And also Paul Morphy didn't want to capture the knight. Believe it or not, but he castled. It looks like Paul Morphy is toying with his opponent. The only thing he is interested is to develop his pieces as fast as possible and then checkmating the black king, because Paul Morphy is aware of his opponent's strength and he knows he is playing with a weak opponent, so he doesn't have to lingering for these small pieces. So black played knight to d5, Paul Morphy played queen to g4 check, king takes on e5, bishop to g5 attacking the queen, queen to f8, rook from a to d1, and we have king to d6, a desperate move by black. But let's take it back. Let's make a random move, a6, then c4, attacking the knight. So saving the knight, rook from f to e1, bishop to e3, rook takes bishop. That's checkmate. So there is a checkmate threat, so that's why. We have king to d6. Paul Morphy played queen to e4, threatening checkmate again, queen takes knight. So black is defending the knight with the queen, queen to f7, c4, attacking the knight, and the knight is pinned. A desperate move, king to c6, and Paul Morphy captures the knight with the rook, threatening some discovery attacks to the king. Running away once again. And it's white to move. And can you guess the next move of Paul Morphy? What would you do in this position if you had the white pieces? So did you find the winning move in this position? Well, Paul Morphy played rook takes bishop, sacrificing the rook. But black didn't capture the rook. He played c6. If king takes rook, then there is forced checkmate, whatever black does. Bishop to e3, king to b4, bishop to d2, king to c5, b4, king to b6, queen to d4, king to a6, b5, and that's checkmate. After bishop to e6, if king to d6, then c5, and that's checkmate again. We have this very beautiful checkmate. So after rook takes on c5, black played c6 desperately. Paul Morphy played queen to e5, rook to e8, and after this move, black realized that he is getting checkmated, and then he resigned after this move. And probably Paul Morphy announced checkmate in 4 moves. So there is a forced checkmate. And let me show you the possible continuation. Rook to b5. Of course, if pawn takes rook, then bishop to e3, check, king to a5, queen takes on b5. If king to c6, then c takes on b5. And that's checkmate again. After rook to b5, if king to a6, then rook to a5, check, king to b6, bishop to e3, c5, only defense. Queen takes on c5. That's checkmate. What a game. So after rook to e8, black resigned. And this is the last position of the game. And it's said that this chess game of Paul Morphy is not as famous as his other games, like his Opera House game. And what a beautiful chess game by Paul Morphy. And I hope you have enjoyed watching this video. And I hope to see you next time. Take care.